if it's true what you're saying with the digital marketing and from potentially where it can go and grow, I don't really need a shop front.
Yeah.
It's like a massive expense to
have as an overhead.
As an overhead is huge,
huge.
because especially at that time, because my business was relatively new.
Hi guys, Shazan and Oleg here with our good friend from London Carpet Store, Junaid Manzoor. As promised, as per our last podcast together, we're planning to interview business owners and find out their digital marketing journey, not just with us as a YSC client of ours, but at the same time why they went through the process of moving away from general offline activities. And this is a very unique case because up and down the country, up and down the UK, you have various carpet stores, fitting agents, and you walk into their shop front on a regular basis.
Big and small.
Yeah, big and small, exactly, going in and out. And you don't have very many companies that are out there at the moment that actually really have immersed themselves into digital marketing so that they can actually have a digital marketing presence to acquire customers rather than the usual flow of having people walk in and out of your shop front. And what I wanted to just get out today of today's podcast with yourself, Junaid, is just a bit of information regarding how that journey's looked for you, where you were at with your business, and the decisions you've made in the last 2 years with your business, and how that impacted you digitally and helped you acquire customers.
Yeah, so thank you for having me, first and foremost. So before obviously meeting yourself, I had a shop front, and I was introduced to you by a mutual friend. I was only doing, so just so you guys know, before doing this I was running all social media posts myself, even SEOs and stuff like that. I had 1 or 2 friends who had helped me out and just given me a few guidelines, etc. And then obviously we got introduced and we had a chat. So obviously I was running a shop front, but obviously doing my research and having met you, my mind started thinking, if it is true what you're saying with the digital marketing and from potentially where it can go and grow, I don't really need a shop front.
Yeah.
It's like a massive expense to
have as an overhead.
As an overhead is huge,
huge.
because especially at that time, because my business was relatively new. I think it was about a year and a half into it.
Okay.
So it was still relatively quite new.
Why did I think you're older than that? I just thought you've been around for a few years.
No, I was a few years, but
Okay.
but not setting up as my own company.
Oh, you were just working in the industry?
Yeah, I was working in the industry,
Okay.
correct, yeah. And then it's a massive overhead, you know. I'm sure you guys can relate, people who have offices and spaces, rent rates, business staff, etc. is a lot. I was a bit skeptical, as you usually would, because if a person's coming and saying you can potentially go from here to here to here with the right, obviously, marketing and the right tools, etc., which you guys obviously have, so it was a big step.
Did you get a lot of people coming into the store? I mean, to the actual old storefront when you had it?
I'd say it was reasonable. About amount coming in, but like I said, for me, obviously going into it, the social media platform is so strong now. It's such a massive market, and so many people are on various platforms that people get influenced so quickly. I mean, one person posting something could bring 10, 50, 100 customers, because the recycle of that is
the lifetime value.
The lifetime value is huge.
Yeah.
And then obviously 1 repeat customer, and then brings 10 customers, and then 10 repeat customers being potentially 50 to 100 customers.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're running your if you were to describe the difference between running your shop front versus being purely digital now, in terms of the way you work, what would you say that a customer looks like? Because I know that through the time we've worked together, you've always said that whenever I've got this guy, he's come from, for example, you're based over here in the Wembley area, but you've had somebody that's coming from maybe Hammersmith, and then that individual has then given you a knock-on effect of customers within the Hammersmith area.
Yeah, definitely.
How does that? How would you say that? What would be the main difference in your mind between the types of customers that between walk-in and what you're getting now at the moment from the marketing?
Well, to be honest with you, it's quite crazy. I mean, when I met Shazan initially, what you said to me is like, you know, it's like an open tap. Once I open that tap, it's not gonna shut. So I was, you know, when someone says that, you're a bit, okay, let me see what happens. But I mean, it was crazy. I mean, I was quite clear with the type of clientele that I wanted to try and get at as well. And obviously, working with you and your team, we had to sit down and go through that. But it's crazy, the type of market that I've wanted to push at, that was exactly the type of people that have been coming my way. I mean, it's literally, it's crazy. And I think I even said this to you as a joke. I was like, "You're a magician."
He's the magician, not me.
So it was quite crazy. I mean, like I said, I've set certain areas that I wanted to hit and I wanted to target. We've hit them, and certain companies, and I have got repeat business, and it's crazy.
I think the call we had with you, I mean, originally when we had that kind of briefing call, and when I first spoke to you, obviously over a year ago, I mean, that was golden because you gave us all the information that we needed, you know, from what kind of customers you want. And I mean, that
was because I was quite clear where I wanted to go and where I wanted to be. But at that stage, as a new business and having so much overheads, it's a risk trying to put that money in. And Shazan knows when we had that conversation,
very, very true.
it was a big risk for me at that time. But I can honestly say I don't regret it because my website was okay. I wouldn't say it was the greatest. It was just getting by. Social media, like I said, I was running it. But from there to now, it's like my company's is literally transcended on a whole different platform now.
And I think what you do differently from a lot of customers, our customers and a lot of customers in the market, is you're so proactive with providing content for us, imagery of jobs that you've done, acquiring those testimonials from people. I think it's not only just the you know, the campaigns and that kind of stuff. I think it's the activity that you also put in, because that genuine content can't be produced by an agency or can't be taken from like Shutterstock or these kind of like template stuff, you know. I think the authenticity that you do as a company owner, that really translates as your brand and shows on the social media platform.
I mean, we can hear it in the calls as well. When we're listening to your calls, effectively, you're speaking to a PA or somebody, and that person is effectively listening to the conversation is no more about I'm the cheapest, I'm the most expensive, or It's effectively go onto my Instagram page, have a look at the jobs I've previously done, go look at the customers I've previously worked with, 100%. Go have a look at the types of jobs we've done, and it gives that person a vote of confidence rather than having a conversation with you purely based on pricing. I'm not saying that's not important, obviously it's a buyer's market,
100%.
but at the same time, at least that person had peace of mind to say, you know what, this guy has worked in an industry
and his value. And to be honest with you, it's thanks to you guys. It's because of working with you guys that I've now got to that stage now. Obviously, it's nowhere near the end goal or where we want to be. But in regards to being proactive, any business owner, anyone who's watching this, who's got their own business starting up or wants to, obviously, you have to put in the graft. If you don't put in the graft, then no one else is going to do it. So from that aspect, I don't really feel like I've done anything spectacular. But yes, your own business, it's your own value. But as you're saying there, it's like, I've noticed that. I've noticed the customers that I get, certain clientele, especially the ones that we worked recently with in the city, they know I value now. Whereas when you have a walk-in customer, majority of the time they're just fishing for the cheapest, fishing with the cheapest thing. And obviously, it's look, we're not here to rip anyone off or anything like that. But they seem to be. It's so much more like they don't value who you are as a company and what you've done.
Yeah, of course.
Whereas now, the certain clientele that are coming our way and have seen our work are like, wow, your work's really good.
I suppose it actually makes a massive difference for yourself that you're willing to go on location.
Yeah,
and by on location, as an example, we're in this room right now. If I was one of your clients and I said, look, I wanted to get this room fitted out, I'm sure once you've done the measurements, you've shown the samples, you've shown all the bits and pieces, the close rates for you must be much higher than having somebody 100%. Walk into a showroom where effectively you're maybe using a CAD system or something where you're not entirely sure what the room looks like and you're just laying it out and doing that brief bit of work. but then buyer's remorse kicks in. Somebody's probably thinking, you know what, maybe I can get it cheaper, maybe I can't. But when
Yeah,
they-
100%.
when you're sat face to face with somebody in their home or in their office or wherever the premises is, off the back of that, there's a really strong opportunity for you to basically make a sale.
But it's just coming back to the point I just made is that the customers know that now. This is what I'm saying. They know that is because of the work that we've done together.
Yeah.
The work that you guys are doing and the work that I'm doing, it's been brought together because me as a business, I know what I want to be as a business owner, as someone dealing with the customers, with the clientele. So I'm fulfilling my part, you guys fulfilling your part. So it's sort of come together because we've both put the effort in. That's why it represents that now when they call me, they've already seen me. They've already gone on it. They've seen our website. They've seen it, and our website now is completely different to what it was before.
Yeah. No, indeed.
So,
Yeah, definitely.
and then they'll see the Instagram, they'll go straight on it. And they'll say, okay, he's worked with X, Y, and Z. So it brings that value 100% more now.
And I think like what you said earlier, Shazan, is that this is it's a buyer's market in the carpet industry that the buyer
100%,
dictates. But I think I slightly disagree because there's a lot of big advertisers there who are advertising for this same triggers, and I think when there's a lot of these big competitors, a lot of these local customers are not getting the things that they want. So when a London carpet store can come in and locally service them and be really relevant and give them already like, because at the end of the day when you're deciding on something, it's the touch points that you're going to go for. It's like I see you as a company, but I need to find out more about you. I'm going to
100%.
go to your social media pages, to your website, these kind of things, get, read your reviews and so on, and get convinced. And already when that made that call or when they make that decision to sign with you, it's already made by in the path that's been laid out by obviously us and you and so on. So I think in the local market, there's actually not a lot of companies who are doing it correctly, because obviously the budgets are sometimes incorrect, but also the big competitors are just kind of shoving them down the results, which is making a problem. But and they can't really afford get good marketing and get on top, and that's where where it comes in that you need someone a partner who partner up with and actually get that good results. And I think that's kind of combination of the things that happen here as well.
And that's exactly the point, because it's not just about finding yourself on search, which is something that we've been flogging for like over 10 years, but it's about the social media presence, the fact that you can balance out between coming up on Google search, being active in terms of being able to run mobile ads and call only ads and all these other things that you guys do within the campaigns team. But at the same time, off the back of that, is having these social media posts and interactions and things that are taking place on there, so that's Junaid, it's easy for him to communicate back with the customer.
Because that is the shop front now.
Yeah, that is the shop front.
That is the shop front now.
But I think key thing that we're missing here also is, as a customer, if you think about it from their point of view, is trust. And when they see, this is just come back to the same point.
Seeing is believing.
Seeing is believing.
Yeah, 100%.
So what they're seeing now to what they were seeing before is different, because my social media presence was really non-existent from what I was, what I was trying to do to what it is now is completely different, and that's how it is. It's just trust, and I can feel that from seeing the customers before to now. When I go and see a customer now, I know they've done it, and I ask them. I'm very honest about it. I ask them. I say, "Where did you find me?" I say, "Have you seen our work?" They say, "Yeah, we've seen your work."
Yeah, it's undeniable. Yeah, it's true.
They've already seen my work, and I see how they are. Whereas before, you can see, like you said, they'll think twice. They think, okay, I'll come back another day. Then I'll go to another local carpet shop. They'll see from there, but now it's a completely, they're very trustworthy.
Very true.
Yeah,
And that's how the biggest. That's what the biggest thing is for a customer, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, the next push for you, Junaid, the next big push for you is video marketing.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think that's the next big push for you. I think the
We-
way in
we-
which
we're
the
gonna work
landscape
on
is
that.
moving at the moment in terms of the ad campaigns and structures, a lot of conversation we're having with our clients is 15, 20, 30, 45-second ads. I mean, we're going to be doing a separate podcast on this, guys, regarding Facebook video ad campaigns that we're going to be running. But I think for yourself, in terms of just being able to show the cleanliness of your work, from the beginning to the end is going to be night and day. Even if it's like a 10-second video of them ripping the carpet out, that's going to be oh. But then the secondary stage of that 10 seconds is having your fitters around the floor, hammering away, whatever they're doing, cutting, and then the last video is effectively the magic moment, which is the clean and tidy room ready for the end user. And
No,
I think,
definitely.
I think that journey with a bit of a voiceover for yourself will really solidify your position in terms of where you're at the moment. I mean, your followers are through the roof, people are liking your work, your interaction rates are really good. And I think that's the next
The last
level.
90 days, you had 200 calls and emails in total leads. So
It's crazy.
crazy
It's
how that's
crazy.
changing.
It is crazy, yeah. But one thing I do want to say now that I've got a chance, now that I'm here, is you get a lot of companies saying they're going to do this. But I can honestly, hands down, say Shazan and his team have been completely transparent, 100% with me from day one. And I want to thank you. I want to thank you guys for that. And this isn't in me trying to say this or that. It's the honest truth. Anyone who's been in a similar position at a very fresh stage of their business, who takes a risk to spend the money that we've spent, it's not easy. And whatever Shazan said to me at the beginning, the stages, everything's been exactly the same. So it's a major factor now. The trust level now is like, Shazan will call me and be like, you got to spend an extra X amount this month because this, and the money's already there. Because the trust level now is, we know, I understand.
I genuinely appreciate that, but what I want to get back to is, what would you say to another Junaid out there? Another carpet store, another person, or even another business owner out there that's thinking about the old school style of doing their marketing, which is having a shop front, making sure they've got their bits into place, then running digital ads, and then having a car, and then going out, and then factoring all of these things into consideration. Considering the journey you've been on in the last 2 to 3 years, what would you say to that potential?
The reason I'm laughing is because Shazan said something to me at that point. After we'd signed up, Shazan said, "You've got a lot of bottle," and I didn't think of it. I didn't think of it like that stage. But honestly, to anyone else in a similar situation, take the plunge. Trust me, take the plunge.
Yeah.
When they see it, when they see the results that you can. At the first few months, we was working out what we needed to and trying to find the market and stuff, and you know it takes a couple of months, but after that you will reap the rewards, definitely.
Obviously, we're here to provide you with leads,
Yeah.
and provide you with the ability to acquire customers. What would you say to a potential business owner that's watching this today, with how they should approach their sales and marketing from a digital point of view in terms of generating these calls and these emails? What would they need to be doing to be successful?
Well, basically, it's just like a football analogy. It's basically, they're going to put you through on goal, and then you got to finish it. So, yeah, literally, I mean, the leads you guys provide is crazy, and it's unreal. So you need to be, literally, the phone goes non-stop. My phone is with me all day. The leads come in all the time. So you have to be on the point, on ball all the time in order to finish basically the chances you provide. So that you need to be ready for it, really, because every customer that calls has different requirements. It's just upon the individual. Like I was saying earlier in the podcast, was you guys have done the hard work. I'm also putting in the graft. That's why we've reaped the results that we've had.
Definitely.
Do you know what I mean?
Definitely, yeah. Totally agree. And from what I see to yourself, Junaid, I'd like to thank you and say, look, I really do appreciate the fact that you've gone out of your way to take the time with us and our potential viewers out there to talk about your business.
Yeah, no, I should be thanking you guys, man. Thank you for all your help. You helped me at a very critical time in my business, and honestly, it means a lot for all your help and support. Your team's always readily available for me, and I really appreciate that. So thank you for everything, man.
We appreciate you working with us, and long may the relationship continue.
Yeah, definitely, man. God willing. Thank you, man.
Junaid, thank you so much.
Ollie,
brother.
Thank you so much.
Take care, man.
Thank you.
Cheers.